Hello, ladies and gentlefolk. Welcome to the Joy of Tyrrelling with me, your host, Alan Titchmarsh. Um, it is a beautifully overcast Wednesday, and we're ready to get our teeth into the 1999 season. Um, a lot to find out, like how truly awful our car is. Why don't we do a little bit more pre-season build-up and take a look at what's what? On the technology front, excuse me, we actually look pretty okay. My primary concern being only the reliability of the hydraulics and the performance on the suspension and the throttle. We have our CAD and CAM facilities up and running, so we're going to already make a start on next year's car if we can, which means firing bods from here. Now, we also have less competent team leads than we had last year. That's something that we will be getting down to because I've given it some thought in the meantime and figured we may actually end up firing. Um, is it Lency? That's really bad. No, it's Isaki. We have only signed him for one season, but I really can't be doing with just having a one-star lead designer. That's not okay. Not going to be hiring Mike Coughlin. Can, however, pick up Rory Byrne if we had the money, which we don't. But actually, almost all the non-F1 bods. Let's see how our cash flow is, because maybe we can get a bargain on Rory Byrne. That would be super cool. Actually, no, he's employed. Actually, it's Coughlin that's not. Um, we could get Coughlin in for a year, perhaps. We'll give ourselves a race to think about it. In terms of our lineup, we have Tora Takagi and Shinji Nakano, neither of whom really set the world on fire, although Nakano is actually a bit better than Takagi, and he's quite good in the rain, actually. Celso Moriera is our test driver. We'll be aiming to sign him for one more season and then perhaps promote him at some point. Depends how long this Japanese flavour stays on in the team. No staff to hire in any of the other departments, so we are at a bit of a loss here. We've got low morale everywhere, low skill. It's a very Tyrrelly kind of atmosphere, if I'm honest. Let's take a look at our power unit for the year. A little down on the power, but beyond that, it's not a terrible unit. It's distinctly midfield. Tires could be better, but that's the problem with getting a customer contract as well. That we get the most basic tire on offer and no upgrades. And the fuel also distinctly average, a little harsh on the engine, but um, we'll just have to deal with it, to be honest. I'd rather get more power out of the fuel at this point to complement the low power of the unit itself and risk shaking itself to pieces than anything else. Um, let's see if we can't divulge ourselves of a little bit more of the team. Now, why would I do that, you may be asking? It's because I would like to actually run the first Grand Prix having done some testing. And that means spending some cashola. And I may come to regret this. Wow, we really can't afford to run very many miles at all. If I can get to a hundred, maybe. Um, okay. So we have no control over anything in terms of R&D, as I recall. Oh no, we can help with the R&D on the engine. So actually, I am going to get us a new spec of engine. It's using a lot of our mechanics, but I think we can absorb it for one round. Okay, most important thing for these boys is to get enough setup points. Just remembered, Celso Moriera doesn't have a test car. So I don't know what we're paying him for, but it's nothing useful. We will resolve that if our cash situation improves. That didn't help us a jot. I may even go back and undo that, but for now, let's see. Um, that morale is really kicking our ass, and we're understaffed, and we've just got so many problems. How much money have we got coming in? Do we think? Okay. I'm concerned, but not unduly so. One thing's for sure, I am not taking a 16 race loan with a 43% interest rate. That's something that's not happening. What is happening is we're going to put ourselves into debt by building spare parts. And get the cars ready. A little bit reckless on my part here, I appreciate, but bear with me. So we're running Nakano on the soft and Takagi on the hard, and we're actually going to I'm going to allow Nakano to be a little bit more aggressive, and I'm going to give him the setup points for this Grand Prix. And again, I'm only turning Takagi down to 1 because he's got such low skills. But you know, this was the point of this playthrough, right? To set ourselves a challenge and to try and build a team within these restrictions. So I'm going to give him points to all the key elements. Right. How about we go see where we stand? Looking into sponsors, we really want to be working quite hard on picking up a team sponsor if we can. I'm going to go after Buzzing Hornets. It's a big ask. I'm not totally convinced we're going to get it. But let's see. We've got an engine deal for next year already. Tyres, we're going to stick with Bridgestone. In terms of fuel, let's see. First things first, though, I'm actually going to go after some cash monies. I'm going to put 25% onto PlayStation and 25% onto PIAA, and we'll probably try and get Patronus as well. It's unlikely it's going to work, but I'm starting early on some 5-star sponsors, and if any of them happen to have a higher affinity with us than we would otherwise expect, then the deal can be concluded quite quickly. And I don't mind, particularly with fuel, getting a customer deal again. The team sponsor has to be the main thing. That's what's going to give us the money to actually move forward. Right, let's embarrass ourselves. Off to Australia, Timey Kangaroo Downsport. Okay, so looking at who's where now, Hakkinen and Michael Schumacher are teaming up at Williams. David Coulthard has Esteban Tuero for company at McLaren. Johnny Newhouse and Damon Hill, a strong lineup at Ferrari. Jordan, who have works everything this year and are looking very, very strong in their package, at least in theory, have Olivier Panis and Giancarlo Fisichella. That's also a very good lineup. Benetton, another good lineup actually, Lacey and Alexander Wurz. Rubens Barrichello and Mika Salo team up at Sauber. Eddie Irvine is your new team leader at Arrow, supported by Pedro Diniz. Ralf Schumacher and Heinz Halfrensen go to Prost. Johnny Herbert and Stefan Sarazan at Stewart. We have Tora Takagi and Shinji Nakano. And then Minardi are fielding Jarno Trulli and Ricardo Rosset. Super. 23 degrees, very dry, strong wind. for the qualifying session. Again, a bit too early to really know what that means. Quite an encouraging first outing, actually. We've jumped from sort of 19 to 20 up to 12th, 13th. With a reasonable degree of comfort, actually, and then from 15th down, like the Minardis, Prost, Stewarts, and surprisingly the Benettons are massively off the pace. I mean, we're within a second almost of pole with Takagi. Um, anyway, let's get down to what the actual concurrence is. Michael Schumacher takes pole for Williams. It looks like they've got a very strong package this year. 1:30.424. Johnny Newhouse will be lining up second for Ferrari. 1:30.446. We have Mika Hakkinen, David Coulthard, Esteban Tuero, and Damon Hill. Arrows look to have taken a step forward as well. Pedro Diniz out qualifying new teammate Eddie Irvine. We have split the Saubers and we are just behind the Jordans by about 2/10, and that may vary track to track. Takagi out qualifying Nakano, quite interesting that. 23 degrees and dry with a strong wind for race day. We will be putting fresh boots on Takagi and one stopping that bad boy. Hopefully he makes it to the end of the Grand Prix. We can't keep his car in good nick, but we'll do what we can. We will pit him lap 29. Yes, and the same for Nakano. Actually, we will give him fresh boots every stint rather than having heat cycle tyres on at the start. Ah, points! This is going to sound weird, so bear with me. Esteban Tuero and his McLaren take the win. That's the first win ever for Esteban Tuero. Joining him on the podium is Mika Hakkinen's Williams and Eddie Irvine in an Arrows. Johnny Newhouse drops to fourth in the race for Ferrari. Toru Takagi for Tyrrell, taking 2 points in fifth. And Pedro Diniz, the second Arrows, sixth. So Arrows, 2 points finishers. Just outside the points are the Sauber of Mika Salo and Olivier Panis' Jordan. Then 1 lap down is everyone else, 1 lap or more actually. The Benettons finishing 2 and 3 laps down respectively. Shinji Nakano dropped out at the end of the Grand Prix due to driver error. We'll have to be careful with that. We lost Giancarlo Fisichello's Jordan, Stefan Sarazan's Stewart, Michael Schumacher's Williams, Ricardo Rossit's Minardi, David Coulthard's McLaren, and Damon Hill's Ferrari to various reliability mishaps. Still, we got points on the board at the first round. That's a good start. Constructors' standings currently, McLaren lead the way on 10, ahead of Williams on 6. Arrow's just a point behind in 5th, with 5 points. Ferrari 4th with 3 points, and we're bringing up the rear with 2. Okay, we made no money, and we just got a warning that if we finish this next round in the red, we will go bankrupt. That's because we're on the flyaway races. Right, there's not much left to do actually, Dan. We will take that credit. Wow, the terms have got even worse. Those are really, really bad terms. But we can get a better deal here. Right, we're going to sell 4% of the team. That still leaves us with a majority share on 51%, which means we cannot be fired. Once you go 50-50 or below, you can be fired. So we don't want to be crossing that line. And hopefully this final cash injection will get us through the flyaway races. No progress on the team sponsorship deal, but we do have a 2-season deal on the table with PlayStation, which we're going to crank the focus up on a little bit here. Still not going to run any hospitality because the team is broker than a broke thing. We still don't have a car for not Esteban Tuero. He drives for McLaren now, inexplicably. We still don't have a car for our test driver, which means we don't have a car to cycle in for this broken one. I'm going to get the damage off Nakano's car. and then I'm going to leave these cars worn, and we're just going to have to make the best of a bad job. Uh, what would be good would be if we could get some new bods on board. Again, money we don't have, but it would be good. Let's see. Right, is there anyone we can take on who's currently unemployed? Jay Wright. If I can get him to take a 2% deal, yeah, he's not happy about that. I didn't think he would be. Okay, I guess we're kind of stuck with Charles Aston for now, but in the design front, that's a real worry for me. I'm not prepared to pay good money for Mike Coughlin. Reason being that his skill has actually dropped to the same as other unemployed people. So what I'm going to do is just do a straight swap for 1 season with someone who's got 2 stars. And they're going to start right away, and we're going to fire Sasaki. We may get sued, and I think we have been, but no regrets. Don't want to be having 1 star. Not happy with having 2, to be honest, but that is the restriction of the playthrough. Also considering swapping Moriera into the car, actually, at some point, depending on how things pan out. Okay, so we've done what repairs we can. In terms of design, no progress, which is not totally unexpected. We have 25% of our staff free. I'm going to improve our suspension. Not that we have the construction on hand yet to attain that, but our morale should start improving slowly if we keep picking up these points and results. This is actually probably going to be the most fun season, actually, because the team actually has a lot going for it, even though it doesn't look like it, but we just need the money to start coming in. Seeing, like, with this money coming in here is not reflecting what we're getting from it's not reflecting what we're actually getting from our pay drivers, so it's kind of hard to read the way things are going. Okay, we're going to keep everyone on the same tyres as before. No testing, because we can't afford no testing. And actually, I may turn down the aggressiveness of Shinji Nakano. I mean, without pushing, we managed to get points. So if we can get to the finish this time with both cars, you never know your luck. Seems our qualifying pace is off, but I'll take that any day if it means race pace is there. Okay, welcome to Brazil. 28 degrees with very strong rain. That should favour Shinji Nakano, actually. Let's see. Yes, it does. Shinji Nakano qualifying a healthy 7th on a 1:33.350. He should also do well in the race if it's also wet. Damon Hill, the wet weather king, taking pole for Ferrari on a 1:29.908. Mika Hakkinen, Michael Schumacher, and David Coulthard keeping him company at the sharp end. Johnny Newhouse's Ferrari qualified 5th. Eddie Irvine, the first of the arrows, in 6th. And we, on our row, are actually partnered by Rubens Barrichello Sauber, who put in a very, very good time, actually, compared to Nakano. Takagi managed to outqualify the Sauber and the Minardi of Salo and Trulli, respectively, and is just off the back of Olivier Panis's Jordan. Not much between them at all. Lots of people actually didn't make 107%, which shows how good that Williams is. Rossett is excluded from the race. Sarazan Stewart, Wirtz's Benetton, Herbert Stewart, and Heinz-Harald Frenzen's Prost, all outside the 107% time but allowed to partake. Interestingly, the Prost have elevated themselves a little bit in this round, at least with one car, and the same with Benetton. Benetton were dead stone cold last in qualifying last time out, but Jean Alesi sticks it 12th this time. Again, strong rain, 23 degrees. I will Still run Takagi like he's on a one stop on hards, because if the conditions change. Nice. Okay, let's wish ourselves some luck here. More points again. Excellent news. Damon Hill goes pole to win in the Ferrari. Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard keeping him company on the podium. Michael Schumacher finishes one lap down in the Williams on P4. Shinji Nakano, though, beats the Ferrari of Johnny Newhouse home in the rain, taking fifth. Esteban Tuero just outside the points. Takagi did bring it home, but only P11. That was the best he could manage. And in terms of people we lost in the race, Eddie Irvine's arrows, Gianno Trulli's Minardi, Pedro Deniz's arrows, and Johnny Herbert Stewart. Points in 2 races, that's not too shabby, to be honest. In the Drivers' Championship at the moment, Mika Hakkinen is your leader on 12 points. Damon Hill and Esteban Tuero share second place on 10 points apiece. And we have 3 drivers vying it out for de facto 4th place. Newhouse, Irvine, and Coulthard. And currently our 2 drivers are vying it out for 8th. In the constructors, we're still 5th, but that's better than last, which is what we were last season, and we're only a point behind Arrows, so it's all to play for P4 actually. We turned a profit at that Grand Prix. We made a profit of 300,000. That's excellent news. Another round or 2 of that, and the team might actually be back on its feet a little bit. Still absolutely no freaking progress though on any of our designs. This is super bad news. Let's see if there's any designers we can hire. No, I mean the design team is actually really understaffed. We only have 23. I'm going to pay a headhunter. I'm glad that I did. Yeah, we really need to strengthen the design team. That's serious now. We lost a lot of staff over the summer break, it seems. Can we do that trick again with commercial? No. The only area of the team that's actually in good nick is the mechanics, which at least is something to stick around on. Right, we have damage on both cars, and both cars are 100% worn. That really sucks. That really sucks. We can't run 100% worn cars. We know that much. We have to take mechanics off the test program that we're no longer running as well. Good job I noticed that. And we will repair car 2 because Nakano's just going to be better in more conditions. Okay, in terms of a contract, we are not going to get a deal with Buzzing Hornets, but that's okay. We will ask Blondes for a deal. I'll put 10% on them and 10% on Play Life, and just dangle the worm in the water and see if anything comes of it. I'm also going to start work on renewing the Bridgestone deal, hopefully to get a partnership this time. Is the terms of the credit any better? No, they're not. We've got money coming in, just not at a fast enough rate. God, I would kill for Pedro Diniz now. Okay, the cars are as set up as they're ever going to be. Let's do 3 rounds this episode. Fuck it, why not? No new tyres, of course. Off we go then to Argentina, which should be, if my memory serves, we should be getting the flyaway races done shortly, and then a bit more money might be coming into the team. 17 degrees and very dry for the qualifying session. We have 2 badly worn cars though, and 1 slightly damaged one, which shows, although Takagi still manages to stick it 11th, which is pretty impressive actually. Shinji Nakano, a little off his previous qualifyings, down in 14th. Benetton back to the bottom of the pile as well by a massive distance. Stewart, Prost and Minardi also loitering down at the back. Michael Schumacher takes pole for the dominant Williams team. Damon Hill's Ferrari in second, so we've got a reignition of the old Schumacher-Hill rivalry. Coulthard, Newhouse, Hakkinen, Tuero, Panis, Irvine, Deniz and Barrichello are your top 10. Both arrows qualifying in the top 10 is pretty good, actually. 25 degrees and cloudy for race day. We will bring Toru Takagi in lap 36, go with the standard one-stop 50-50 split. And we'll put fresh boots on everybody and just hope that this race pace we've been enjoying comes back to us and we pick up a cheeky point. That would be superb. And we do pick up one cheeky point, one solitary cheeky point. It's a Williams 1-2, Schumacher leading home Mika Hakkinen, Johnny Newhouse leading a Ferrari 3-4, Barrichello in the Sauber picking up points in 5th, and Shinji Nakano picking up the last point for us. Meanwhile, Toru Takagi had a component failure. That means more damage on his car. That really sucks. That really, really sucks. We're going to struggle to keep both cars running at this rate. We also lost the arrows, both cars out. Olivier Panis' Jordan had an engine failure. Engine failure is also taking out the Prost of Ralf Schumacher and the McLaren of David Coulthard. Driver mistake from Jonna Trulli meant his Minardi failed to make the flag. In the drivers, we have Mika Hakkinen still top the pile, 18 points to the 13 of Schumacher and Hill. Esteban Tuero down in 4th. We have Shinji Nakano in 8th on 3 points, and just behind him, his teammate Toru Takagi on 2. That jumps us up to joint 4th position in the Constructors. Williams 10 points clear of Ferrari at the moment, McLaren in 3rd on 14, and we are 5 apiece with arrows for P4. Sauber joined the rankings now with 2 points. Okay, game, give me some good news somewhere. Okay, well, at least we can get a partner deal. With Bridgestone, that's good. In terms of cash, though, we are getting literally nowhere. Although we can get a deal with Playlife for 2 seasons. I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming for 28 million, no less. All right, well, it's pretty obvious what has to happen now, isn't it? All hands on deck. Can we get any more commercial bods? We can. Right, we're now fully staffed in the commercial team. That's something. I wonder if he'd actually take a slightly improved deal. Okay, so he's happy with 2 years. We might talk again. We may talk again. Right, let's see. We can probably just keep the cars running again. That's good. We've made some minor progress on next year's car, but nowhere near enough for me to feel happy. Right, we're going to move everybody over to next year's car. Just the team is nowhere near the efficiency level that we need. We're getting 4% efficiency right now. 100% onto next year's car. We really can't afford to be going backwards again. Guys, thanks so much for joining me for some midweek Tyrrell time. I will talk to you again probably on Friday, but maybe some Sauber in between. We shall see. I hope all of you have had an excellent start to the week and the last few days are kind to you. Take care of yourselves and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.